Hey, it's National Signing Day. Doug Lesmeri and Stephen Means at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center just spoke with Ryan Day for about half an hour about this Ohio State recruiting class. It was 14 people signed when we talked to Ryan Day. It might grow a little bit. It's not the previous 2 years of classes. The last 2 years in the 2017 and 18 classes, Ohio State was ranked number 2 nationally. This class right now is ranked in the teens, around number 14 overall in terms of overall points in the class. But it's a smaller class, and when you look at the individual ratings of the players, it's top 5 nationally, and Ryan Day mentioned that. So, is this a good recruiting class? And I love the word good because it can mean anything you want it to mean, but in a world where they're in a coaching transition, they lost a couple kids out of this class, but not a bunch. They got Zach Harrison, a 5-star guy, on signing day for Ohio State. Is this good, Stephen?
When you look at it from a standpoint of the situation that they're currently in, yeah, I think it's a solid recruiting class. Like you said, they got Zach Harrison, who's a top 10 recruit in the country and probably the best football player in the state of Ohio. They got Cade Stover, who's the Ohio Mr. Football. They got Garrett Wilson, a 5-star wide receiver out of Texas. I think overall, no. It's not like when you look at the ratings and you see, okay, it's the 14th best recruiting class in the country, and you see Ohio State next to that, it's like, it's not a very good recruiting class. But then when you start listing off some of these guys, then yeah, it is a top recruiting class, especially when you look at the situation of Ryan Day's been on this job for less than a month. And he literally left the podium and got on a plane and started recruiting. And so for him to savor some of the guys that he lost some guys, but for him to be able to hold on to some of these guys and pull off getting the secret man that is Zach Harrison, yeah, it's a solid recruiting class.
Garrett Wilson, 5-star receiver from Texas, I think is a really big get for them to hold on to him. He grew up in Ohio. He's in Texas now. That's a big get. This class was going to be smaller anyway, and I think that's important for people to understand. Urban Meyer often was up around 25. 25 is the max you can get. But you also have to stay under 85 scholarships. They don't have a huge senior class. They're waiting to see how many guys are going to go pro. 3 so far. There'll be a couple more. They'll probably add a couple more guys, 2, 3, 4 guys, either with the late signing period in February or maybe transfers. You can't fully evaluate this class yet. And the one thing is, Dwan Mathis, the quarterback who'd been committed to this class, flipped today, signed with Georgia instead. Ohio State's not that worried about that because they think they have answers coming. They're not going to talk about Justin Fields, the Georgia transfer right now, but that is clearly on their minds. Usually when you lose your quarterback recruit on signing day, that's a big deal. It's not that big a deal. So the one thing is, I think it's fine right now. It's what you said, but I don't think it's done. And there are going to be some guys coming to Columbus in the next couple weeks and months as they wrap this whole thing out that are going to change our final evaluation of how we're looking at this class right now. We have a lot more coverage coming at cleveland.com. So far from signing day, Stephen Means and Doug Lesmeri, thanks to you guys for watching at cleveland.com.